Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and tonight I want to talk about The Last of Us remastered remake. The Last of Us remastered remake, whatever. So, last night I made a video right after I was able to download it, start playing it. I made a video. I was playing that on my 4K TV. I was in the 1440p mode, and it just wasn't looking like super visually impressive to me on that 4K display. So I was being a little bit hard on it. I don't generally like to do that, but I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory real quick. Man, I bought the game when it first came out on PlayStation 3. I bought it again on PlayStation 4. So I'm not going to lie, man. I was feeling like PlayStation's being a little scummy charging us $70 again to play this game. Nothing is going to change the fact that The Last of Us was and is still a masterpiece when it comes to video game storytelling and characters. It's great. Like, that base material is still there and it's still good. But other than that, I'm gonna be as honest and as forthright as I can, because this is a very touchy subject when it comes to remakes, remasters, and the like that. These guys said this game was built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5. I can tell you right now that is not true. That is not true at all. When I think of a remake from the ground up, I'm thinking Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm thinking Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake. I'm thinking games, the Mafia, games that have actually been built from the ground up and have, new controls. They feel better. The play style is different. Not only do they look good, but they also feel good. Feeling good is part of the immersion. Like, if the game, I don't care how pretty the game is, if it doesn't feel good to play, then it changes, it alters that experience. Now, I've got about 4 hours of play into this. I'm at chapter 4. I was just live streaming it. I live streamed it for a couple of hours. And I found myself really enjoying this. Today I've been playing on my 1440p monitor. My PlayStation 5 is actually in the beta right now, so I do have native support for 1440p with my PlayStation 5. And I'm telling you that when it comes to this game on a 4K TV, the only way you're going to get really solid, really high quality image quality is if you are playing it in the 4K mode. I can't. I'm not going to play this game at 30 frames a second. It was terrible on PlayStation 3 at 30 frames a second. It was terrible on PlayStation 4 at 30 frames a second. I refuse to play this game ever again at 30 frames a second just for a little bit of eye candy. And that was my biggest roadblock when it was coming to that when I was playing last night. I was very disappointed with the 1440p representation on my OLED that I was receiving from that. And you can go and look. I ran this game side by side with some Last of Us 2 footage in the video that I posted last night. The Last of Us 2 does look better. It does look better still. Even when I'm playing it on my 1440p monitor, I am still feeling like The Last of Us 2 is a better looking game. And that literally boils down to the fact that this is not built from the ground up. This is swapping in assets and textures and details and stuff from The Last of Us 2. Like, some of that's there. Some of it is still built on that framework for that PlayStation 3 game. There are a lot of cool effects in this game. There's a lot of attention to detail. They have done a lot to... I'm going to say this is a really high quality remaster. This is a really high quality remaster. I'm not going to say it's a remake because it's simply not. The gameplay feels the same as it always has, albeit maybe a little bit better in some parts. It doesn't feel as janky as it used to, but it does it does take a minute to get used to the shooting in this. Just because it kind of feels outdated. Like the new game feels way better. Like The Last of Us 2 feels a lot better in that department. It felt a lot better. Character movement, character animation still looks really, really close to what you were getting with the PlayStation 4 remaster. So while some stuff has changed subtly, the biggest differences you're going to notice are in the characters' faces, are in the characters' visual style. The visual style is completely changed, and it does help with the presentation tremendously. The impact that this story is having now that I'm used to the controls and it's feeling better and I'm feeling more comfortable with what's going on after getting used to it and after actually, feeling it, how it feels so much like it doesn't feel anywhere like it doesn't feel so janky now that I'm like, oh my gosh, that I'm sitting there struggling with that. So it's not affecting the overall gameplay experience like I thought it was going to. It is actually serviceable to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, you can get used to this, you can play it, you can 100% experience this game and feel like the controller and the movement isn't going to impede your joy while playing this game. When it comes to the DualSense on this game, I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I don't really, it doesn't feel any way, what shape or form. Like I'm never thinking while I'm playing the game, I'm like, oh, that DualSense feels good. It's only when I have to stop my brain and what I'm doing and like actually sit there and feel the controller when I'm doing a movement, like jumping off something, that I can actually feel what's going on, because it feels, I don't know what it is, maybe my controller's broken or something, but it never feels strong enough to make a difference anyway. And the trigger things, while they do feel like, you can feel like when you're pulling back a bow and you can do all of that stuff, like or when you shoot, you can feel the trigger kind of, like flutter or whatever, stuff like that. Like you can feel those, but they're not necessarily, they don't impact my experience whatsoever. It doesn't make me love it more and it doesn't make me hate it. So it's kind of a toss-up when it comes to the haptic feedback with this game. Now, I will tell you 100% that putting this on a 1440p monitor and playing this on a 1440p monitor, it really does change. Like, it's a game changer. It is truly a game changer. It 100% makes me feel like, whoa, dude, this looks beautiful. It plays smooth. I'm not running into any problems with performance or anything like that yet. Like I said, I'm only at the chapter 4. So, I mean, this is, kind of a partial review. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about this review that I'm doing right now. Like, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I feel like I have more than enough information to feel comfortable about doing this as a review. I will continue to complete the game. We're going to live stream it all day tomorrow and stuff like that. So I will complete it. And I'll give you like a final thoughts after that, like after that. But this is touchy. People are sitting on the fence wanting to know, hey man, should I spend the $70 on this game? Should I wait? Whatever. And I want to be as clear as I can that after careful consideration and sitting back and playing this and experiencing this on the 1440p monitor, while I do not agree that this is a ground up remake, I do feel that you will find the appreciation in this game like I have, whether that's through nostalgia or just the way better impact that the story has with the upgrades, it does feel better. Like it does impact you more. But when you're in a bland spot in this game, like it feels like a bland spot in this game. Like it feels. I mean, the atmosphere feels pretty dang good. The character and I mean the characters, the back and forth, the speaking. But like when you're in like some of these buildings and some of this stuff, it really does still kind of have that like, oh man, this is a PlayStation 3 game. Like you still can kind of sense that. Like you can feel that. Like when you're looking out in the distance and the draw distance, stuff like that. There are things that are going to um, you know, not necessarily break your immersion, but maybe leave you asking like, "Ooh, gosh, man, like I wish that was better or something." You know what I mean? And I mean, this game here is representing your PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 that you paid a lot of money for, that you put on a 4K TV. That this is representing that quality, and they are asking for that quality premium price for this title. And this is one of them things where you're going to have to ask yourself, regardless of what any of us YouTubers say, you're going to have to ask yourself, like, hey man, do I really want to play through this game again? If you're new to this and you haven't played it, and this is something that you like, yeah, this is a pretty decent time to jump in. Like this it looks better than it's ever looked. Like I said, the once you get used to the controls and the movement and stuff like that, then I think you'll jive with it. I think you'll be okay. It does feel a little bit. I mean, it still does feel kind of, you know, off or whatever. But I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, honestly, you could kind of look at it like it adds to the tension. Like it kind of does add to the tension. Like, oh my gosh, man, like you got to pull off a shot or something. You know, it adds to the tension enough to I in a way kind of make the experience better. But at the same time, it can definitely feel frustrating when you're first learning and when you're first trying to get to grips with how to aim and all of that stuff. So yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, at this point in this time, with my playing with it and my having the game going and everything, I'm okay with it. I think Naughty Dog did a pretty dang good job with what they did put together with this. I am, for the most part, pretty happy. Like I'm satisfied. I personally am satisfied. I'm not gonna go out of my way and be a jerk about it. Like that's not my intention. My intention is not to sit and trash this game. My intention is to help you decide, hey man, like $70 is a lot of money right now. Do you need to buy that when you've got Still Rising coming out next week? You just had a couple of games, you know, launch, you know, like Destroy All Humans remaster. You've got games, you've got a lot of games throughout the end of the year. And I would like, and I don't want to convince you to buy a game that 15 hours, like you could get through this game in about 15 hours. If you set it, if you set the difficulty lower than like normal or whatever, you could probably get through this a lot faster, like 12 hours. If you stick to just getting through, because I mean, like there's not a whole lot of beaten path to go off and like get lost on. Like this is a pretty linear experience that's going to get you from point A to point B without a whole lot of exploring. There is exploring, there is like little secret areas and stuff that you can find, but like there's really not enough to really push that time out, especially on easier difficulties. So if you're going to play this, probably crank the difficulty up. I'm playing through it on hard right now, and I'm in a part right now where I'm kind of struggling. I was starting to get mad because I'm like, dude, there's so many of these freaking clickers. And it does feel better. Like the AI feels about, I would say they're pretty close to the way they felt on The Last of Us 2. So for the most part, what I've played right now, I can tell you that me personally, I'm not going to be disappointed. If the rest of the game literally plays out the way it's playing out right now, like I'm pretty cool with that. Like the story, The story this time around has been more impactful for when I was playing this on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro. Uh, I'm fairly happy with this experience. Like now that I'm playing on my 1440p monitor, but you know what, man, the 1440p monitor has fixed a lot of the issues that I've been having with the PlayStation 5 since I've gotten it. I've never really been too happy or too crazy about how it looks on a 4K TV, and I've had it on OLED, I've had it on QLED, I've had it on OLED. I've just never been like, oh my gosh, nowhere near the way I feel when it's on a 1440p monitor. Like everything, all my Series X, everything looks better on that gosh dang 1440p monitor because everything just looks more dense. It looks like, whoa, man. And I'm telling you, man, um, I don't know. I mean, like, if you've got the money and you want to play this game, I don't see any harm with buying that. But you got to understand, like, you're literally paying a Sony tax to play this game. Like, you are paying a premium Sony tax to play this game now. If you wait a few months, it'll go on sale. You probably be able to pick it up used. I would definitely try Aniba, see if maybe they've got some codes or something that you can pick up. You know, get a discount on it. I would recommend like this game is awesome. Like it was awesome the day it came out. It's awesome now. The story is great. The characters are amazing. The way the way this game plays out is freaking pretty cool. Like I do like this game. I've never not liked this game. But I caution you and I suggest you find a way to get this for the cheapest amount of money you can. And that's just because I feel like Sony's being a little scummy with this and charging you more. If this game was even $59.99, even $59.99, I think that would be a fairer price than $75. Especially like I've already played through this game a couple times. I've bought it twice already. If you're like me, man, yeah, dude, $70 is an ask, but like you are getting one heck of a visual package for this game. Like you are, like everything has been touched up to the point where yeah, you can go out of your way and find stuff that looks off. Like I mean, I was finding it when I was on the 4K TV. Like it's pretty easy to find stuff that's off. But if you just if you're just like enjoying it, like dude, since I put it on that monitor, man, like I am just like, ooh, dang, that looks good. Whoa, that looks good. Like I'm like this game looks good. It looks freaking beautiful. It is a beautiful experience that I think that yeah, if you haven't played this game, definitely play it. Don't know if I can recommend going out and spending $70 for it, but I mean, maybe me personally, I don't feel as negative about spending the $70 as I did the other day, yesterday. Man, I was having a lot of anxiety about this game because it is a beloved title that I've loved. I've always, you know, I've always wanted my games to get upgraded. I've always wanted like upgrades for games that I've played in the past that I love. This one here is one of those ones that like this is one of those games where it's like, my gosh, man, is that really it? I mean, I guess it's got a, you know, I love Resident Evil games, man. I would buy Resident Evil games over and over and over, hand over fist, anytime that I can. Like I would buy them if they got remade every other year. Like I would do that. And The Last of Us essentially is no different. It's really no different. This is one of the better ones that Sony's made, and there is a lot of controversy surrounding the second game. And you know, this is kind of a chance to make that right and put you into the second game. If you haven't played the second game, I do love the gameplay. The story's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just, you know, it is going to especially after playing this game, man. You get to know Joel and you get to be around, you know, Joel and play as Joel and it's cool, man. Joel's a good dude. Like I like Joel. It was sad to see how that turned out, but at the same time, you know, at the age point and everything, you know, I was like, all right, whatever, you know, being Joel is kind of like pointless, you know, walking around with a cane and all of that stuff, you know. I mean, he's older, so I'm I'm gonna go ahead and put my stamp of like, yeah, dude, I think this game's all right. I think this one's all right. I think that the visual upgrade, I don't think the visual upgrade alone is worth the money, but the story and the way this story impacts now is a lot better. So I do think it's worth your time. Whether that be right now, that's the decision you're going to have to make. I do believe that this is worth playing again now. But that's up to you to make the decision, man. Hey, am I going to go buy the game now, or am I going to wait till it's at a price point where that feels reasonable to me? And that's basically what I'm going to leave this review at. Yes, you should play this, but you need to decide when the price is right for you. This is not something that I recommend running out and just like, oh yeah, I got to buy it right now. Like, no, man, if you don't have the money or you don't like, I, man, because I have the same anxiety that a lot of gamers do too, and that's why I buy these games, because I have anxiety and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna miss? I'm gonna miss something new. I will tell you that, hey man, whenever you get around to playing this, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy it. So make sure you spend the amount of money that you feel is fair for that, because if you spend $70 and you're just like, oh man, like the 15 hours, that sucks. There's 101 reasons why you would be disappointed and why you would regret this purchase. There's like, you'll be able to find reasons no matter what throughout the whole game while you're playing it of why you regret spending $70 for it. I think it'd be a lot harder to find any regret at $40, at $50. It would be a lot harder. $60, I think you'd still be able to find some regret, but $50, 40, $50, I think you'd be solid with that. I think you would be 100% solid. You'd appreciate it. Just like a lot of the other people out there, man, they appreciate this game, and they can look at the visuals and they're like, oh my gosh, man, Naughty Dog did this. I've had them in my comment section all day trying to tell me that, oh my gosh, but no, man, I took the time. I spent the money on the game because I personally wanted to play it. I looked at it. I looked at it again. And I am to the point where I'm like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. I like what I'm seeing now on my 1440p monitor. I feel a lot better with my purchase. So I am happy with it. If anybody's wondering, I'm happy with it. And yeah, find the price that makes it right for you to feel good with it too. Because I feel good with it. I'm okay with this. I'm happy, and I'm really enjoying it. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.